Last time, the zone out from the TV, and I'm excited. Man, what a good first-round matchup. Speaking of great ones, you called it out. Liquid Vivid and Liquid Chap against Nick A30, the happiest, most positive guy in the world. Freaking love that dude. And Hogman, who, by the way, he gave me a recommendation for a barber in Dallas. So I owe Hogman. I'm indebted to Hogman. Thank you for that shout-out, Hogman, for that barber. He was great. My man Randy down in Dallas, Texas. So I'm excited for this one.
Shout out to Randy.
Shout out to Randy and Hogman. And, of course, Nick A30, Vivid, and Chap, all great dudes. It's going to be a good matchup.
And I was going to say, curious what the landing locations would be. It looks like for the Liquid boys, they're going to be making their way toward a location that's not too prominent. We see it from time to time, but on the opposite end, it looks like a Tomato Temple drop for Nick A30 and Hogman, and we could be striking first blood. And yes, the tack shotty to finish things up for Hogman, as that will be an elimination in the books, but the action only continues on as near the gas station. Things are getting feisty, and there is a look at the fighter jet. That is not damage on the player, but on the plane alone. That player would have definitely been gone very quickly. If not the case, spot someone through the window of the truck. Hogman is on a roll right now, taking down two. Both are fully eliminated, but already early on here, John, we are seeing those fighter jets be brought out.
And of course we are, as you'd expect. And here you go. Look at this. Starting strong right now. Hogman with, I think, at least 2 eliminations ready. Has 1 down. That's going to be 4 elims. Squad wiped already at Tomato. And what a start for Nick A30 and Hogman. I like the tomato drop as well. I think it's a good place for loot, good place for Matt. It's a good opportunity to find only one squad. You don't see it heavily populated. You have less of an opportunity to kind of get jumped. I think that's a smart call for Hogman and Nick A30 off the rip.
And this is a big game, right? Especially speaking on Nick A30 and Hogman, at least as far as their tournaments are considered together, because we've seen Nick A30 actually place top 4 the last 2 times he's played with Ninja and along with One Shot Girl last week. He and Hogman haven't really seen the greatest success with each other, so keeping that in mind, this is a big game for them just because of, they want to try to get farther, but they're playing against the boys from Liquid, who are known to be one of the best teams in the entire world. I mean, even at times, right, and obviously we got to speak on Chap a little bit later, but Vivid regarded at certain points as the best player in the entire world. I know you give it over to Bizzle, but still, you've got some very talented players in this game, and Liquid are always representing in any Fortnite competition.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you look at Summer Skirmish when Vivid really burst onto the scenes. Back then, he was not Vivid. I think it was before he got picked up by Liquid. He won 3 in a row, something ridiculous, weekly skirmishes. So, yeah, completely agreed with you there. Liquid is top 2, arguably top 1 best teams overall in Fortnite. I know we don't talk teams very often or squads very often with some of the Royale and skirmish formats, but you got to give Liquid a lot of respect, largely thanks to these 2 here.
Yeah, that's for certain. I was going to say you can maybe throw Ghost up there, but they've got like pretty much everyone who plays competitive Fortnite is on Ghost Games.
Is on Ghost Games.
They've got like, I think, like 15, 16, 20 players at this point. Regardless, though, they're all talented.
Stacked.
And they deserve to be on that list. But like we mentioned, Nick A30 Hogman seeking out opportunities early, and that was a great squad wipe that they find. Of course, all 4 frags do go the way of Complexity's own captain. But regardless of that, it's a great start for them because if we know anything about the Liquid boys, like we mentioned, they're incredibly talented and they will continue to thrive. But it looks as if we will be seeing potentially mobility tools for both of our squads. We got an ATK for Liquid, and for the right side, we got a fighter jet getting brought out. And I think that maybe Nick A30 just might have missed his flight, a little bit of a delay potentially. Is he going to take? Don't tell me he's going to land on the plane.
That would be.
Is he going to land on it?
I think he's trying.
That'd be legendary.
That would have been absolutely epic. I mean, absolutely insane. And there you go.
There we have it.
On board, ready to go. Look at this mobility, man, in Season 8. Of course, a little dance action as well. Look at that. Nick A30 and Hogman having some fun. The comms were sharp, by the way. I was impressed by the comms earlier.
Yeah.
A little listening.
And speaking of this fighter jet, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, this thing does have a turret on the front of it, which is crazy to think about. It does quite a bit of damage, and unfortunately, it does crash down. But there's a player with a balloon on the backside. He is
a singular
down for the
balloon.
count.
He literally just floated in there like it was it or something. I don't know what that was.
Yeah, unfortunately, it wasn't red.
But even better that way.
And it looks like they're going to use the Deagle that now does full structure damage, taking down 1, and they are just absolutely thriving on these players here in Loot Lake.
And I'm loving what I'm seeing this new pump shotgun, too. The pump buffs have been great. The kind of shotguns are returning into the meta, which I think is awesome. It's a high-skill weapon, and you're even seeing that come into play here with Liquid and Hogman and Nick A30. Off to a great start. I love the rotation, straight and right away to Leaky Lake, so you're bound to find someone rotating there, either from Tilted or from Pleasant Park, and they're trying to res, actually. Good situation here, and that's going to be, I believe, another full squad wipe. That should be 8 limbs already for Hogman and Nick A30. What a start for these 2.
That's a great thing to see. And it's actually going to be 9, so we do see a third one. Or no, okay. Yeah, I was going to say, for a second, it looked as if, yeah, it was a little bit delayed. There we go. But on the other end, look at this. Just complete dominance over Pleasant Park. Vivid is soaring and taking down a few builds in the process. Can he collect loot that way? I was gonna say, I was like, that would just be the ultimate like next level strat if you literally don't even have to get out of your jet or your plane to collect that loot. Regardless, though, he will be able to find a few and collect the resources from it. But one thing that I do want to keep in mind here, Fallout, the issues that we've seen from NickEh30 and Hogman in the past have been kind of getting in the mix of these team fights and kind of being swarmed by their opponents. So that's one thing I want to keep in mind. They've looked great so far, and you can't take anything away from them in this particular fight because I think they really do need to up the tempo versus a team like Liquid, but they've also got to be very wary of their issues in the past, which have been getting a little bit too overly aggressive. So something to keep in mind.
Not on the same page early on. I think they probably developed a lot of chemistry now. They play a lot more. But yeah, early on when we cast them last in general, you see someone flying away with the loot. This is wild.
That's what I would do, to be honest. If I knew if I knew Chap was in my game, I would probably be doing the exact same thing.
Yeah, just run away. Yeah.
not even a point.
So much for honor in your gameplay itself.
True. It just all goes out the window. If I see Chap or anyone in this particular lobby in my game, I am definitely getting out of there and getting out of there quick.
As they are, and I don't blame you one bit. Yep. I think NickEh30 and Hogman, they've gained a lot of chemistry as a team. I think we're going to see that show today. I'm really impressed with how they're starting. One thing I got to say, I respect NickEh30 tremendously for his approach. Yes, he's an entertainer. Yes, he's probably the largest or one of the largest Fortnite YouTubers, both in terms of VOD content and live streaming on YouTube. But he takes a professional player approach every single day to his games, his scrims. He's always asking for feedback. And, you know, if some people don't know that side of NickEh30, but, man, I respect it.
Oh, absolutely. And you got to give him all the props in the world just because, like we said, he's an entertainer, but he's also very, very solid. And I feel like we're watching a different game right now, but this is Fortnite, believe it or not. Maybe last week we'd be thinking it's something totally different, but producer's saying it could be Ace Combat, and I think we do actually see a Rift to Go used in the middle of that fighter jet battle. And thankfully, Chap, I believe, might have just lost the lower ground, but it's literally on the wing. And is he going to take this player out? This would be legendary.
No, you got to be kidding me. That was epic. He got a shot in. That was pretty sweet.
I think his plane got shot
He's
a little bit
still going. Look at him.
Oh, it's about to go down. It's all right, though.
What comes up must come down. If I learned
true.
anything in physics class, junior high school, this is really coming to fruition here at Fortnite. Back in the plane. Look, this is out. That's actually pretty sick.
This is legendary.
That was actually pretty dope. In pub stomp formats, I think that's really, really cool. I know competitively there's been a lot of kind of pro player, competitive player feedback about easy rotations and a little unfair and competitive play. But pub stomp formats, public matches, this is a blast to watch.
Yeah, I'm loving this, to be totally honest with you. But keeping in mind, look at our top right of our screen. All 4 of our arrows right next to each other. So that's something to marvel for sure, as we could see a few kill-stealing opportunities come in as Chap knocks down one with ease. Surrounding the turret is where all the loot will come, but I believe the Liquid boys will be able to find that fight despite their opponents being on the mountain just above. But Hogman places down the trap. Unfortunately, the player is now down a floor lower, but 15 HP, and this is a struggler right now for Hogman. He needs to make sure he keeps composure.
And need to go fast because looking around the corner, it's going to be the 2 Liquid boys. So they got to go fast. They got to get these ones quick. Hogman under a world of pain right now. NickEh30 finally comes to the rotation. Looking good, looking great. Hogman, however, as I say that, goes down. NickEh30 going to clean up scraps. Can he stay alive in this one, especially before Liquid rotates? It looks like Liquid's taking their time. And now we can kind of check a delay of Nick's POV and see how NickEh30 cleaned this one up. Looks like he's still in a 1 versus 1 here. All eyes on NickEh30. Going to miss a couple of key shots here, but it doesn't matter. Looks like he's going for the rotation and build to try and keep his teammate alive. I like the play. Selfless play right there for NickEh30.
And that was great communication as well from Hogman. A lot of times when you have, or when I've spectated before in these games, it's a matter of, you know, your teammate kind of goes silent whenever he drops. And that was great communication coming in from Hogman and what you'd expect from a professional Fortnite player, especially a captain, right? The voice to let his teammate know exactly what was going on.
Yeah,
but as the Rift to Go comes through, I think we might have saw, was it all 4 players actually go in this Rift in particular? Maybe not. I thought that I saw a few. It looks like on NickEh30 screen they might have grabbed a few opponents in the process, but regardless, it looks like they all could be fading on a few new locations now.
I love these comms here.
I finished one of them.
Okay, do you want to go back?
Jumping a little bit of listen here. I love these comms.
They're bailing. There's 2 that already left, and then there's 1 there still. They're all by himself, or maybe 2.
Okay, Nick, I'll follow you. There's
Okay.
2 below me, though. 2 below me.
35 blue? 35, he has no shield.
Okay, I come to him. I got him.
Okay. He's trying to get away.
Great communication being shown from both of these players.
Good running. Leadership from Nick 30 to
35, one
rotate
shot
back.
or two shots?
Called a one shot there.
Getting beamed from somewhere else.
Oh,
my
wow.
God.
Double
Mountain.
burst AR. It's going to cost him his down for now, at least. Let's see if Hogman now, all eyes on him, can go big. Meanwhile, the Liquid Boys, their opponents, are going big on the bottom left of your screen. You'll see that.
Hogman's in the storm.
And no HP as well. That's going to be his
Yeah.
life. He's not going to get the elim either. No, both of them going to go down here. It's Nick 30 and Hogman leaving Liquid alive with 13 players total left in the game, 11 others.
And this is what I'm talking about, man. And like I said, they're very solid. They can really get involved when it comes down to the elimination game, but the things that they struggle with are at times being over-aggressive and kind of getting swarmed by their opponents. I like the call from Nick 30. I don't think it was a bad idea to kind of reference back and try to challenge those, but keeping in mind the Storm was starting to move in. They didn't have numbers. They were low on HP, not a whole lot of health items to work with.
And they both kind of dropped in different areas.
Yeah,
Nick
exactly.
30 dropped in high ground. Hogman dropped a little too far, and of course wasn't able to build for Nick 30 when he got down. So yeah, completely agree. You brought that example earlier in Tilted, and they made you look like a genius caster right there by kind of showing exactly what you.
It's not easy to do. By any means. Oh, what a nice shot! Actually comes through from Chap. My goodness, on the outskirts of Loot Lake doing some damage. But that's the thing, right? Now with what was, 8 other players left alive, the Liquid Boys are going to have full control over probably what would be at least 80% of these players. So they're going to have a lot of opportunities to potentially increase what could be a lead. Whether or not that's currently established or not remains to be seen. But great builds coming through from Chap. Vivid, currently weak on HP, but that Deagle doing all it possibly can to take down that brick. And
rocket launchers can do a lot more.
Yeah, and, that's for sure.
And I keep seeing the use of planes. Again, I really love this new pub stamp format in Season 7. It's a lot of fun to watch. Ooh, I take a little fall action. He's not going to take fall damage, but a ton of fun to watch. The ability to rotate, the ability to split and easily get back to your teammates. Ooh. And, of course, the return of the pump shotgun the big way here in Season 7. Nice shots put in here across the board, and this is what Liquid does best.
And I'm not trying to make an assumption, but I'd imagine whenever those shotties were back, Mr. Gears of War Fallout probably came out and says, I am happy the shotguns are here. Because that's what you're used to, right?
I think that's a safe assumption to make. Third person, holding right-hand advantage and tilted towers over someone. Reminds me of Gridlock back in the Gears 1. No, I'm
there
just
you
kidding.
go.
But no, yeah, myself, a lot of the old Gears guys, I'm sure were relieved. CDN, Nick Merckx, High Distortion, Requiem, Camille's. It's awesome to see.
There's so many to really list off from the Gears of War community.
I think more Gears pros in Fortnite than any other game.
I think that's very fair to say.
H1
Halo's getting close. Like I said,
has
other BRs too.
Fear itself, Hysteria, Ninja. Is that it? That's it?
I think there might be a few more, but those are like the main three. I think.
Okay,
unless I might be missing someone, which happens all the time.
Someone correct me in the chat here. We gotta get to the bottom of this. And look at the score here at the bottom of your screen, 15-14 as it currently stands. So despite Nick 30 and Hogman getting taken out early, they did a great job picking up some eliminations early and really putting themselves on the board in a big way. And I think we're gonna have a really dramatic game too. I'm excited.
I do too. And like I said, I didn't mean to criticize Hogman and Nick 30 in that situation, but I have to say though, I think what they really need to do is kind of play aggressive, especially when you're facing off against a pro team like Liquid, who we could argue is going to be able to find consistent eliminations. They know about the rotation game, which is a huge part of these public game formats.
Speaking of rotations, you hear right now, Chap saying, I'm coming back to you. So, again, that's what you like about these new pump stop format with the planes involved is easy rotations, easy ability to get back to your teammates, maybe poke and tease fights here and there, maybe get some damage in early, and then quickly rotate out. In pump stop is a lot of fun to watch.
Got the guy out of the plane.
Nice.
You obviously see the jet explode. There's so many new things. You got a zip line as well that could easily be utilized.
I'm not carrying
those zip lines as well. I mean, you can easily hop off of those. You can also use your weapon in the midst of being on them as well. So, like I said, a lot of mobility tools, but also gives you the option to have a few unique gunfights in the process. But Liquid doing a great job just trying to make sure they get all healed up the best they possibly can and look to seek out the final 3 players left in the lobby.
And new vehicle skins as well.
Oh, they're going to fly up on this mountain.
Ice quads. And do a 180 while doing it. Style points. This is, oh, no, please say it ain't so. That would have been disgusting if you pulled out 1 HP right now, by the way, for Liquid Chap. Vivid's going to try and carry the weight, carry the bag right now as much as he can, trying to get in the build fight, actually getting high ground, doing a good job of that. Vivid, of course, one of the best at doing that. He's going to hold that high ground while his teammate heals up, trying to just distract as much as possible. And, of course, when you have high ground with rockets, you're in a pretty good spot to try and bank one of those rockets or just destroy all the cover underneath the person.
Yeah.
Oh, meanwhile, he just killed his teammate, I think.
Yeah. Chap knocked down, I believe, by fall damage according to the kill feed, so that's rather unfortunate. But I guess when you do have 1 HP, you do have to watch out or watch your step, essentially. But
Dude, this guy for real
Vivid right now.
He's so bad. He's
Calm, cool, collected, even calling out the opponents right now. as he does currently possess that high ground. Compact SMG doing some work on the builds, but he's got plenty of resources to work with throughout the future of this game.
And he's going to go down for a little build, a little revive here, which, in my opinion, I know Nick A30 did the same thing when Hogman was down. I don't agree with that. You lose high ground, and you put yourself in a 1-by-1 in a box in a really bad situation. Yes, you're a pro. You're probably going to get out of it.
And you're the last player alive, is that they don't know where you are.
Exactly. Exactly. Yeah. So I don't agree with when Nick A30 did that, and I'm not sure if that was the best play. But he's going to regain high ground. So I think, of course, Vivid staying alive. His teammate's going to die, but he's going to get high ground back, and he's just fine. He can kind of react and adapt.
Is this one player, or does he have teammates? Because if he doesn't have teammates, I'm going to go and call it now. Worst teammates of all 2018. Like, where are your teammates at in this situation? So maybe there is an extra duo who is remaining around here somewhere. And I think Vivid obviously realizes such, not being too wary that there is a mountain peak above him where he could easily get shot down from.
And Vivid has edit rights to a couple of these, so he's going to try and use that to his advantage. Most of those walls are Vivid's, I believe, not the floors. Just die, buddy. He's putting some good shots in them. Of course, hitting him for blue, so that's going to mean Vivid can recognize that this person has shield available, probably well healed, probably around the same amount of HP you may think as Vivid. He hasn't got a ton of damage into him just yet.
Oh, wow.
But just complete high ground control, complete control in general. And, of course, with the new map,
how is this guy hard for me to
actually, oh, my gosh. You're wondering where his teammates were. Yeah, is that him or is that his teammate?
I swear, if those are his teammates, I'm going to be so frustrated. If this guy does not die instantly, I don't know what to say anymore.
The most elusive man.
Okay,
in
thank
Fortnite.
God. Thank goodness.
What is that, Black Huss? You're literally a ghost.
Yeah.
Are the Shadow Stones still in the game? I don't know.
No, they're not. Jeez. They actually were vaulted as well.
I think the guy had like 7 of them.
Wouldn't surprise me a bit, to be totally honest with you. But
it was the last guy, thank goodness. So we can.
Yeah, I after that happened, I was like, okay, thank goodness, because
we don't have to go full tilt.
Yeah, we definitely do not for now. But clutch play from Vivid as far as realizing that he does have a nice little cozy campfire, and as the storm starts to move in, not going to make that position cozier for much longer. Shots exchanged from the outer rim of Pleasant Park.
Yep, and now with the storm, he's actually just at the same HP he was, maybe even less HP than before.
Yeah.
He's not recognizing that the storm was going to collapse.
Not clutch in that situation.
He should be fine. Oh, inverse ramps there. And this guy is literally a complete bot. Like,
I think he just ran into a wall by accident.
This guy's blind fire spraying an SMG. It hasn't built one structure yet.
Oh, all right. It's also a solo.
It's also a solo.
So we have 3 solos at the very end. That doesn't happen very often, and I don't know how they survive, but maybe some Bush Wookiees, maybe some rogue players who have been hiding inside of Pleasant throughout the entire game. But this last guy at least is able to pepper a few shots onto the HP of Vivid. Thankfully, he's got a few minis in his back pocket to utilize, but here come the Rockets.
Well, 1v1 action here. Someone gets a 1v1 against Liquid Vivid and probably has no idea. So that's not something you get every single day, a chance to play against a pro player. Let's see what you can do on candid camera, on the big stage, buddy. See if you can take out Vivid in a 1v. Vivid trying to pepper some shots here. Now, you love that AK. One shot, 45 damage, done off the bat. So they're probably even in health right now, you would think, or close to it after that first shot.
Definitely a fair estimate.
Perfect in mats here. Of course, no mat, a nerf in public matches, only in the competitive format.
And I like for Vivid, he's pretty much just waiting for the opponent to make a mistake. Like, he's making sure not to play too overly aggressive. He's kind of waiting for the player to pop his head out and use that heavy assault rifle to the best of its ability, which is for pop shots like that. But
yeah. That's something that Vivid and Liquid in general are great at. Actually, jump pad can be placed, but playing patient and waiting for that person to make a mistake rather than W keying. I think Ghost is known for being a little bit more of a W key team and org. Just very aggressive, very skilled players, not in a bad way necessarily. But Liquid plays a lot more passive, I think, in general when you watch them in skirmishes.
Rocket out, and it lands. I was going to say, that looked like it might have just gone through, kind of threaded the needle between the builds, and it will. 13 elims solely for Vivid, as I believe he drops the most frags in the entire game, and kind of showing off the builds toward the end of that game. But phenomenal stuff coming through from the Liquid boys. Like we said, Nick A30, Hogman, they were definitely in there for the longest time, only down by 6 coming into game 2, but it was based off a very aggressive play style, and I'm very interested to see if we continue to see that same aggressiveness be shown. But off the start, we saw some interesting landing locations.
Yeah, we did from both of them, and both landed on the same side of the map. So I think we'll see them if they land in similar areas, maybe a little bit more trailing, a little more shadowing. We didn't see a lot of that happen, even when Hogman and Nick A30 were in a pretty pretty rough spot, and one was downed. I thought we were going to see a quick rotation come through from Liquid, but instead they wanted to play their game. They knew they could play for the long game, for the long haul, and rather than kind of feeling this unnecessary need to shadow, to steal eliminations, they were just playing their own game, and it worked out.
I got to say, massive credit, right, to Hogman and Nick A30. Like we said, despite kind of dropping in the midst of that team fight, they did, and what we were constantly giving them credit for was their communication, right? One player's down, still kind of giving the calls. Nick A30 was constantly kind of giving certain bits of information to Hogman as well throughout that game. And I think that's one of their biggest strong suits that at times can go a little bit unwarranted. Maybe can kind of get thrown underneath the sheet from time to time just because we're expecting to see, you know, like their high kill games. We start to see like their gun skill, but a lot of little things kind of come into that as far as chemistry and as far as communication, which I think they definitely excel at compared to a lot of the different teams that we have in the Sunday Showdown. But as map 2 loads up, it looks as if we are going to be seeing potentially a similar location for the Liquid boys, if my eyes serve me correctly, but they could also very easily not. Regardless, though, Game 2 gets underway. 6 elims down for Nick A30 and Hogman. We'll see if their landing locations reflect the deficit that they currently possess.
Yep, how aggressive will they play? It looks like they're opting for a same drop over towards Tomato, which, again, worked out well for them last time. The bus kind of went that area, so I think it's a good spot to go. Same exact drops for both teams, I believe. We saw Vivid and Chap run a quick rotation over to Lazy Lynx, and we saw Nick A30 clean up at Tomato and start rotating over towards Dusty. We'll see if the same thing happens here. More of the same in game number 2. Difference is down by 6. How will Nick A30 and Hogman react?
It's a question to ask, and you see as Nick A30 starts to load in, or rather fly in, he is seeing a few people on parachutes, a few people maybe starting to take a dive into Tomato Temple, trying to gain their bearings. And one thing that was very notable off the start was Hogman, right? Takes down an entire squad pretty much by himself. And that definitely gave them a huge advantage when it comes down to the start of this game. But really both squads just trying to find that loot. And I think maybe the reason being for these slower landing locations, at least from this particular match here, Fallout, is maybe based on the new additives as far as mobility is considered. Because we talk about, you know, while Shadowstones are out of the game, we now have fighter jets. We now have, you know, different things that can kind of allow you to be super mobile around the map. So maybe those slow starts, kind of finding that HP, maybe, or rather finding those resources, maybe finding some crucial items could be the difference whenever you really don't have to worry about roaming around the map too much.
That's a great point. I got to say, I absolutely love what Epic has done season over season. There's always been a worry for me. I feel like I no longer have to worry that, you know,
can they keep it up?
Like, yeah, exactly. End of season 5, are Rift's still going to be around? End of season 6, what's going to replace Shadowstones for mobility? And they always find the perfect kind of replacement substitute without sacrificing one thing for another in a lot of ways. And yes, you know, they've learned as they've gone. They've added some things, got to redeploy, and certain things that have been changed over time. But always receptive, and I think overall we take for granted a lot of the great decisions that are made.
Definitely. Looks like yep, Chap. Trusty tack. Granted, it is common, but not in his hands. Just absolutely destroys. As everyone is rocking the new Christmas skins. Fallout. What do you want for Christmas?
Yeah, I want Epic to not bring back the reindeer skin.
Okay, I can get that.
That's what I want. So Epic, please, if you're listening, you can make me happy, Christmas boy. Don't bring back the female reindeer skin, because that's my skin. I very much appreciate it. That's like my version of Skull Trooper.
Okay.
Yep.
I feel like everyone has one of those where it's like, I have this OG skin. Fortnite, please do not bring it back. Epic, please don't bring it back. I don't really have one in particular. I was one of the I played in season 2, but I didn't realize how amazing these skins would later be.
Buy all of them, yeah.
Unfortunately, not at the time.
In October. I didn't buy a skin until like December. I was like,
yeah,
these skins are horrible. Little I know they'd become a phenomenon. Right. But yeah, even Skull Trooper, I was like, ugh.
Yeah, I remember a few people tweeting out about the Skull Trooper, and I was like, you know, I've never really been the biggest fan of skeletons.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
Literally a year later, I'm like, as soon as that drops in the item shop, I've been scouring Reddit for weeks trying to figure out when it would release and just bought it instantly.
And quick question, how are they rotating the Lazy Link so fast?
I was going to ask the same thing. Maybe
I missed it twice
just
in a row.
Solely sprinting? I don't know.
Sprinting.
I didn't see unless they. I was going to say unless they use a zip line, but I don't know.
That's
if
the thing
there
about the new
are
map is like there's all these great new rotations. You know, like season 5 saw the ability to land at the new racetrack. And look, you see some plane action right now for Hogman. But the ability to land racetrack and rotate over to triple chests and the rifts. But now there's like a lot of stuff is gone. So Hogman's going to get tagged up from behind here. Looks like he has himself a blue pump. Good comms. I love the comms I've heard so far. Much different teams. You know, one team very chill, Liquid very chill in their comms. One team very aggressive. Reminds me of a lot of kind of esports teams I followed back over the years. Years Halo, Call of Duty.
Wow. Sorry, I just can't get over like these fighter jet battles that we have on our screens. And that one obviously is green, right? Because we also got to talk about the new wraps that are added to the game, both to your vehicle as well as to your weapons as well. I got to say, I was a big fan of that additive, and I might have unlocked a few extra tiers in the Battle Pass to make sure that I could access a few different ones. But I got to say, though, that was one of my biggest things that I was really curious if Epic would add would be, you know, kind of like that skin camo type variant, and I'm glad to see it be introduced here for Season 7.
Yeah, about time. Love it. Epic, please take my money. You guys are crushing.
Basically, all this player is doing its best to try to get away with the grappler, but a plane is coming toward you, and you will be gobbled up. Great
grappler
stuff.
versus airplane, a vehicle. I wonder what's gonna work.
Oh, here comes a plane as well.
Speaking of which.
Oh no, this is insane.
Oh, he's trying to grapple onto the plane. That would have been sick.
Yeah, that would have definitely been on Reddit and probably been seen again a few more times.
Nice cone. Look, I think he coned him actually, which disallowed him from building up. Solid cone, solid shot. He's going to take a lot of damage there. So again, back to what you said. You know, they got the kills. They're okay. They're in a good spot. But maybe some unnecessary damage right there. To all of his HP is gone. Yeah. For the most part, only 20 HP left. Doesn't really have any bandages or medkits yet that I see.
And taking a look at Nick30's perspective, of course, his is a little bit delayed. I mean, like you said, we've been kind of going back and forth about it. In that situation, like you said, Hogman, a lot of unnecessary HP. Like, he could have literally waited, built up a little bit, waited for Nick30 to kind of do a double challenge team fire and maybe take that guy down with a little bit more ease. But now what we see Hogman on, I think it was like 12, 13 HP, and now they're going to have to wait for a med kit, and then that's going to kind of slow down the rotations a little. And if they were to have another team randomly come in, that could also throw a wrench into the setup as well. Regardless, though, Liquid back on our screens, full of HP and full of heavy assault rifle shots, and a few of the new pump shotty. I believe one taken down from both of our players, and there could be a second. Yes. Fantastic stuff for TL as they dominate right now in the Springs.
Yep, absolutely love that right there. Vivid clearly didn't have Bloom in his favor with the Bloom feature. Didn't complain, didn't even say a word. You know, I respect that tremendously. You know, and again, not to call out some of his comrades or peers, but a lot of folks across games, across titles, myself back in the day when I was younger too, complain so often. You don't get anything by complaining about Bloom, and I like the fact that he stays focused and hits the shots after that. Something small, but something you gotta appreciate.
Definitely. Looks like getting back with Hogman right now as he and Nick30 have departed into Tilted Towers, a terminal probably that is very crowded at this moment. And based on the builds, that probably is the case as well. And Nick30 down for the count. Listening to the call-outs right now, and he's saying they're building up.
Tremendous players, tremendous comms. I love a lot of what I see here, but again, kind of putting themselves in some rough spots here. Of course, Tilted is a tough situation to be in regardless. Nick30 is going to get taken out, and again, they kind of separate a little bit, and that lack of chemistry showed just a tiny bit there. A couple good shots from Hogman. All eyes on the man from Dallas, Texas, captain of Complexity. Let's see what Hogman can do. Meanwhile, we got a replay for you guys at the bottom right of your screen for Nick30, how that went down. He got taken out, and now all eyes on Hogman.
Dukin's trying to produce here, taking shots from all different directions, and that's what happens when you go toward Tilted. I'm sure if Hogman could have a wish right now, it would be that he has a plane up there
to just dip
in that 8th story that he currently sits upon. But yeah, definitely to get out of this situation. Granted, he is doing some solid HP on these opponents, but
he's playing
high ground can only get you so far.
Players, you could tell. You're trying to cone him. Trying to stay alive here. He's in spot 1. Can he replace? Not sure if he's on West Coast servers, East Coast servers. I know he's in LA now, I believe.
Oh!
And the quick edit's going to come through there. That is rough. That is rough. Nagop's going to pick up the elim, and just like that, I think that's going to be all she wrote for that one. Again, a big shot to Nick30 and Hogman. 2 players, 2 individuals I have a tremendous amount of respect for, and they played incredibly well. They dropped, I believe, between the 2 of them, 20-plus elims in 2 games, which is probably more than I've ever gotten in my life.
Same here.
No, I'm just kidding.
Probably.
Impressive stuff across the board.
Definitely.
And congrats to Liquid Chap and Liquid Vivid for moving on forward. That was the round 1 matchup I think we were looking for, but we have some other great ones here as well.
Yeah, definitely. We've got